Hey folks, I'm Chris and I'm your Commander Mechanic. I just wanted to remind everyone that we are on our way to 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and I would love to hit that goal by the release of Streets of New Capenna. So if you aren't subscribed yet, please hit that button. We are in the midst of preview season, which means we've got a lot of new goodies to brew with. This week, Chat and I sat down to brew Raffine Scheming Seer. If you want to join in on these brew sessions, join me every Monday on Twitch, twitch.tv/commandermechanic. Raffine Scheming Seer is the boss of the Obscura family on New Capenna, oracles and shady back alley business dealers. They skulk in the shadows and are information brokers for the city. That really shows on their leader Raffine. This 3-mana Esper, white, black, blue, Demon Sphinx is a 1/4 with flying and ward 1. Ward means that any spell or ability an opponent controls that targets her is countered unless its controller pays an additional 1. Raffine also has a triggered ability. Whenever you attack, Connive X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Connive is the set's mechanic for Obscura. To connive means to draw a card, discard a card, then put a counter on the conniving creature for each non-land card discarded this way. Creatures can connive multiple times, or connive multiple cards at a time, and that really shines here. The fact that Raffine herself doesn't need to attack means that we can be getting this ability to trigger the turn we play her. It also means we'll want to be relatively aggressive, since the more creatures we're attacking with, the more we get to affect our card quality and sculpt our hands. Connive does a lot. Draw cards, discard cards, and put counters on creatures. Each of them have full decks worth of synergy to explore, and this commander could easily be built multiple ways. Chat and I did go back and forth on whether we wanted to lean into draw synergies with Sphinx's tutelage, very thematic, to get value from our value, or if we wanted to lean into discard synergies with Bag of Holding and Containment Construct, ensuring that a discarded card isn't really gone for good. Or if we wanted to lean into the ability to put counters on attacking creatures to get additional value from lords like Abzan Battle Priest, giving our creatures lifelink. In the end, we went with a bit of all three, picking and choosing the best of the best synergies. But we really wanted to lean into the discard synergies. There are a lot of great value generators that have been printed recently that trigger off of discarding cards, which can provide us with some reach beyond just attacking. If we're conniving, we want to make a few accommodations. We absolutely need attackers. Evasive attackers are best, like flyers. Because we're in colors with the best flyers in the game, we're including a few of those synergies too. Favorable Winds, Pride of the Clouds, and Empyrean Eagle mean that even if Raffine can't stick around, we're going to have cute little armies to beat in with. Ideally, we want to take advantage of Connive right away too. Like I mentioned, Raffine herself doesn't need to attack to get the trigger. This is a lot like Adeline Resplendent Cathar, in that as soon as she hits the table, if we get to attacking, we get on the value train. This means I've included a sizable amount of evasive attackers that slide in under Raffine's sleek 3-mana value. Fairy Seer, Baleful Strix, and Skycat Sovereign to name a few. Ideally, we want to have a body in play before we cast Raffine. And these smaller bodies are excellent later game too. With several anthems for flyers like Thunderclap Werven, a 1/1 can be a 3/3 later game without even considering the +1/+1 counters from conniving. Speaking of counters, we have some synergies for those too. The big benefit is that, with Raffine's trigger, we can attack with a creature, then give it counters, conferring on it benefits like Lifelink from Abzan Battle Priest, Menace from Hagra Constrictor, or Death Touch from Marek Nightblade. This makes blocking even harder for opponents, and even scarier over time. But these aren't even our main synergies. You haven't seen our true power yet. No, we wanted to get in our discard synergies. Let's turn the downside of this ability into our upside. We do this with amazing engines like Bone Miser, who triggers and, based on what we're discarding, gives us more bodies, mana, or additional card draw. Or with madness cards like Big Game Hunter, an efficient 1-mana removal option that nets us a creature in play as well. But most importantly, we included the cycle or discard triggering cards from Amonkhet block in the deck. These cards, like Curator of Mysteries, give us an effect when we connive, like scrying multiple times. Or really good ways to make more evasive creatures with a Drake Haven. If we connive 3, we can pay 3 mana to put 3 2/2 flyers into play. That is a ton of additional value. And one of our biggest potential win cons in the deck is Faith of the Devoted. Whenever we discard a card, we can pay 1 and drain each opponent for 2, gaining 2 life. This could easily be doing 6 or more damage to each opponent each turn. And the scariest removal engine in our deck, Archfiend of Ifnir, is perfect synergy here too. This could be soft locking the board with a mini Black Sun Zenith every turn thanks to conniving. And while not from Amonkhet block, Feast of Sanity is a great way to turn our discard into removal too. We don't have to pay for each discard, and the damage here can be dealt to creatures, while having the upside of gaining us a life for each card discarded. These all make for amazing non-combat ways to take out opponents over time. We even have other ways to discard cards in the deck, so if needed, we can turn these triggers into bombs to deal the final points of damage needed. Tortured Existence can help us cycle creatures in and out of our graveyard and hand to trigger these effects, along with a sneaky double synergy with Sir Conrad the Grim. Dream Trawler, one of our curve toppers, is also just a great free discard outlet. We could pitch our whole hand whenever we want to trigger all of our synergy pieces and just wipe out the board, or take out all of our opponents. An interesting double synergy here is by drawing more cards. If we draw too many cards, like that's a thing, we have to discard them at the end of turn, leading to more triggers. So adding in draw doublers like Alhammarret's Archive and Teferi's Ageless Insight can net us twice as many cards drawn and, if we want, twice as many cards discarded. Speaking of twice, since Connive is a triggered ability, we could Strionic Resonator it and dig twice as deep into our libraries. Not bad if you ask me. Take a look at the Moxfield deck list below, and while you're there, be sure to follow my Moxfield profile. Moxfield sponsors this channel and is hands down the best deck building platform out there. I use them for brewing, building, and if you really want me to take a look at your deck, you'll send me a Moxfield deck link too. It's just that good. Sort by categories, mana cost, price, and display text or image if you want to get flashy and show off how foiled out your deck is. Links are in the description below. Now for the upgrade. And with this deck, I wanted to do both an upgrade and a downgrade. As an upgrade, currently the only tutor in the deck is technically Xur the Enchanter. He does go and get us almost all of our value enchantments in the deck, but ramping that up with an Idyllic Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, or Demonic Tutor means we can easily find the pieces that make the engine hum. These aren't infinite combos we're talking about here, they're just value synergies. I wouldn't feel bad about tutoring up these pieces. I also didn't include Rhystic Study in the list either, though it could easily fit in here. It is just a high value floor card. Speaking of things that we could easily do, we could downgrade this deck. It is very easily turned into a budget build. I've no doubt this could be cut down to a $50 to $100 deck by removing a handful of expensive pieces like Esper Sentinel, Bitter Blossom, or Teferi's Protection. We need to make some compromises on the mana base as well, but if we're working on a budget, it's easy enough to allow for a few comes into play tapped lands to ensure we have all 3 colors. There are more than enough options in may come in untapped lands like Sunken Hollow or Prairie Stream that are less than $1 each. Be sure to take a look at the list below and let me know what you think about this deck. Is there anything you'd add? Let me know in the comments below. We're getting more and more cards with Connive as Streets of New Capenna is revealed, so no doubt this deck is only getting better and better. And as always folks, good luck and have fun.